Hello students, welcome to week 4 of LBS 303. This is an overview of your assignments for this week. And I'm going to pull up Blackboard now for you so we can take a look at all the things you have available to you. All right, so you've probably figured out by now that we are getting near the end of our praxis portion of the course. Since the color coding is about to change next week, we're still in red. So we're still looking at teacher practices and how teachers can use culturally sustaining practices in their classroom. Our goal is to explore some practical resources that teachers can use. And so in these 4 weeks here, you have been looking at teaching practices by watching videos, looking at websites, reading articles, reading chapters, all kinds of things like that. So we're in our last week of that. I'm going to pull that up here in week 4. Here's your directions. So the overview video is what you're watching right now. Congrats, you've already done step 1. Step 2 is to watch the video lecture on funds of knowledge. That's right here. And then you're going to read an article by Mole, Amonte, Neff, and Gonzalez. And this is a really wonderful article that documents the beginning of a long set of studies that investigates funds of knowledge. And so this is kind of the beginning of it. I think you'll enjoy it. If you're really interested in this article and you find it helpful, you could go later on and look up their book. These folks did a whole book on this because they continued doing this research. So you can take a look at that later if it interests you. And then we're going to start looking at how to fill out these research article evaluations. And there's a template here. And I'm not going to go over that in depth because we're going to look at that a lot next week, but I will show you how it works. Okay, so first off, let's just make sure that everybody has access to this. So you're going to see this is kind of an older article. It's from the 90s, but that's because it was kind of the beginning of this field of study called funds of knowledge, which is a very practical way to enact culturally relevant pedagogy, culturally responsive teaching, all those wonderful things that we've been learning about. And so basically in this article, you're going to get a practice run at what you're going to do in the next couple weeks. And so the way you'll do that is after you have read it, and here's a nice little video lecture you can watch ahead of time to help you understand the topic ahead of time. I think that's kind of helpful. Then you're going to take a look at this template. I'm going to go ahead and open it up here, and I will share it on the screen. Okay, here we go. And this is basically a practice run because what you're going to do in the future is you're going to go off and find your own research articles and you're going to fill this out. So you'll see that there's an example for you, and this is the template. You don't have to actually do any of these on your own this week. It's just there to help you out. I just want you to get familiar with it because in the upcoming weeks, you're going to be finding your own articles and filling these out. So it's a good time to fill one out as a practice run with the Funds of Knowledge article, see how you do, figure out if you have any questions about it. And then if you do, you can go ahead and go back and post them in the discussion board for me, and I can take a look at that and answer you as needed. Okay, let's take a look back at Blackboard. We'll come back to the other things you need to do. So after you have watched the video, read the article, and do a little practice with that article evaluation template, these are just some guides here. So these are not assignments. Again, a lot of online learning is not necessarily about checking off to-do lists. It's much more engaging in the content on your own. So these are just simple guides to help you start thinking about your research paper. You're going to have to start figuring out what your topic is this week. And so hopefully you've got an interest already. Some of the things you've been looking at maybe on the videos you've been watching of teaching, the articles you've read, and some of the things you've investigated on your own time maybe have gotten your interest in a certain area. So hopefully you've got an idea already that you would like to research. And so once you've got your topic, these are kind of the steps you're going to begin to plan and start your research paper. Then you're going to see this, and I'm going to go over this a lot with you next week, but I want to give it to you ahead of time. This is a presentation, which again, I'll go through this process with you, but I want you to read through it and just get familiar with this process of defining your research topic and your question so that when we meet next week, we will have an idea of what that is and I can help you refine it as needed, but it'd be much easier for you if you already have some ideas. So take a look at those presentations and the guides, and then of course your weekly journal. And you're going to come in here and create an entry. And so this time you'll be responding to your reading for this week. And the prompt is always right here, in case you haven't noticed. I'm sure you did. But you read the article Funds of Knowledge, so you're going to respond to it here. I really want you to think about your own experience with Funds of Knowledge, and when have you seen that in a classroom? Have you seen teachers doing that sort of practice or not? And if you could connect with that, that would be great. If you can't, then let's write about that. Why have you not experienced that, and what might be an issue that teachers should address in order to implement those in their classroom? So start thinking about that. And that's all you have to do this week. So a lot of things to read and look at and think about, and then your journal entry. And I hope that you'll be prepared next week to take a look at your topic and your question. So I'm going to jump ahead a little bit and show you your syllabus, just so that you can go back to this, and really you should be looking at this every week. So you'll see the red color here is the praxis. When we first started, we wanted to understand what culturally sustaining pedagogy is. And now our question the last few weeks that we've been focused on is, how do teachers use culturally sustaining practices in their classroom? And so you've been looking at reading chapters, you've been watching videos, and now you're reading an article. And so after these 4 weeks, we're going to shift gears into research. And very soon, next week, we'll be looking at how to find research articles that fit your topic and your question. Next week, there will be a short Zoom meeting that you will attend based on which group you're in. So watch for updates about that. It's already in the folder, but I'll send announcements to remind you. All right, that's it for this week. Good luck. Please send me an email if you have any questions, or if you need to have a Zoom meeting with me. There are office hours available. Just let me know via email. Good luck.